Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Coach Doty Show, brought to you by Benoit Ford of Farmerville. I'm Ben Hackler with Coach Doty tonight, and we're excited to talk a little football. And, Coach, cooler weather has been upon us. How's practice been this week with the cooler weather?
Yeah, it's been great. Talked to a guy this week that said he used to raise horses, and when the weather started cooling off, those horses wanted to run. So we've had 2 really good days of practice. Today it was brisk out there, but our guys got out there and got after it and kind of enjoyed the cooler weather.
Yeah, Coach, I'm headed to a flag football game as soon as we get done here, and I'm not looking forward to 40 degrees or whatever it is when I get out there. But it definitely is upon us. Of course, we'll be back to 85 next week, so, enjoy it while it's here.
Absolutely.
For sure. Well, Coach, let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about our senior spotlight a little bit later, but let's jump into the weekend. You guys traveled over to Union Parish on Thursday night, and really what can just be called a battle between 2 good teams, long history teams. Came up a little short there at the end, 29-21. As you look back and had a chance to kind of process, what are your initial thoughts before we talk specifics?
Well, I was really proud of the effort we got. I thought our kids played hard. Made too many mistakes. There was 2 or 3 plays in that game that really changed the, complexion of the whole thing. But, going on the road in a hostile environment like that, was anxious to see how our kids were going to respond. And like I said, just tickled to death with our effort, especially defensively. Thought we played really well. It's one of them nights that the ball didn't bounce our way. And, I know that you're fixing to read some stats here that's going to make me feel even worse. But, it was encouraging as well.
Yeah.
I think our kids came out of that game, and even though we didn't get the victory, I think we gained a lot of confidence. I think we feel really good about where we're heading, and so like I said, I think we're in a good spot now, and played a lot of young kids again, but those kids are growing up, and just like I said, just proud of our kids, and wish we could have pulled it out.
Well, Coach, it definitely had to be one of the most physical contests we've been in this year. Looking back over the weeks that we've had some pretty rough battles. But that game, I heard several folks comment, on Facebook and then even with conversations afterwards about how physical that contest was. How did you think your guys handled the physical part of the football game?
I thought for the most part we handled it really well. We're a team that we almost have to get hit in the mouth to respond, and It gives me great hope that we're going to play them again, So I'm hoping that the cards line up and we get another opportunity.
Well, Coach, let's talk about some of the specifics of the game. And, you and I talked to statistics, and I don't normally go through these, but I'm with you. I really thought it was encouraging when we got to the end of the ball game looking back. Your offense is able to put up 275 yards. You rushed for 250. Passing game really never got going on that end, but I think in every category, except for the one that really counted, you competed and you won every category, yardage-wise, time of possession, first downs, all of that. But when the game started, first drive of the game, you guys kick off and you won the toss. And you've talked about how you really like that. You like for your defense to get on the field. Union Parish is able to get a quick touchdown, but then you get some things going, and then it kind of stalls on you. Offensively, you didn't have any trouble moving the football, it didn't seem like. I think you punted one time again. Actually, I guess it would have been 2 punts without the snap. But really one punt on the night, and offensively you moved the football but seemed to stall a little bit, especially down inside the red zone. What did you see from your offense in that first half? What was giving some success, and then what caused the trouble?
Well, I thought we were doing a good job of moving them off the football. I thought we were controlling the line of scrimmage. The big play to me in the first quarter was, we were 1st and 5 on around the 30. And, we ended up 4th and 40.
Yeah.
And, that's just, that's happened to us another time this year when that's happened. And, in a big game like that, you're 1st and 5. You got to execute at that point in time. You got to score, at least get 3 points. You got to answer the bell right there, and we just didn't. And that was disappointing. There were some, like I said, I was proud of some things, but I was disappointed with some things. And that was disappointing to see that, the back-to-back penalties. And actually we had 4 penalties on that drive.
Yeah.
And, that hurt. And, those are things that we thought we had cleaned up. So that was disappointing.
Well, Coach, that drive ends with the punt goes over Aiden's head, and he falls onto the 25. Union takes over. Your defense seemed to, versus that first drive, seemed to kind of rally, forces a fourth down. They're able to convert, and then the little play action pass, they score on to go up 15-0. And at that point, I think a lot of folks thought, uh-oh, here we go. But your team really seemed to settle in. Tremel finishes the half with 113 yards. You gotten good work from your fullback again, from Brody Belanger. Mason was handling the offense okay as far as the veer and things that you were trying to do. When you look at like a guy like Tremel, I know Tremel's second half ends up sitting, but Tremel had 14 carries for 113 yards at that point. What was giving him so much success as far as being able to find the lanes and go?
Well, he's finally, was 100% healthy. He finally kind of started understanding, his lanes and everything. He got a bad bruise on his hand. It swelled up really bad. We thought he might have a fracture. We held him out in the second half. But he was on his way to we'd been talking about a whole different running back this whole week than the guy we talked about if Tremel wouldn't have got hurt. But, just outstanding. And, if you go back and watch the film, some of the moves he made and some of the cuts he made, that guy can go. Yeah. And, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be back this week, and we're excited about it. But, he's starting to hit his stride, and Tremel's going to win some games for us.
Well, Coach, a lot of folks don't understand the weight and the amount of effectiveness that goes into preseason. So Tremel really missed 7 weeks of camp coming into the first few weeks of football. So even at West Monroe, that was kind of his first real live action. And how important is that preseason rep for everybody, not just for Tremel, but for everybody?
Well, that's when you kind of build everything. You start building it there, and you build on every week, and you get a little bit better in shape. You get a little bit stronger. Your legs get under you a little bit. You start to see what's happening in front of you, the speed of the game. You catch up with it. But he's ready. I'm telling you, that dude is ready.
Well, Coach, defensively, you guys, we talked about just that first drive and 2 short field things. Your defense settled in. You talk about how well they performed. What were your thoughts first half? As you're going into halftime with that defense, what are you thinking about the way your defense has performed in the first half?
Well, I think that we gave up 99 total yards in the first half.
Yeah.
Short field one time, pick six right before halftime. Watching film, when I got back Friday night watching the film, Union Parish started 3 drives. 2 of them was on our 25, and the third one was on our 28.
Yeah.
They only scored 1 of those drives. So, it's just short field, and, like I said, man, you give up 99 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
You feel like there's no way you're going to tell me we're down 20. They scored 22 points.
Right.
So, like I said, we're having a lot of these, but again, just a learning experience, and got to go on and keep rolling.
Well, Coach, you go into halftime, you're trailing 22-7. You are going to get the ball to come out. So, what are you telling your team at that point?
We score, we're right back in it, and of course, we're going to have to do it and. Without Tremel and, some other guys. But we did.
Yeah.
We came out and drove the ball down the field, and what a great drive and scored right there. So that was good to come out of halftime.
Well, Coach, you mentioned that you had to play a lot of young guys the second half. Of course, second half, quarterback-wise, you've got to change there. Dylan Downs takes all the snaps of the second half. Bozeman and Roach, who I know Roach had already kind of been in it, but now Bozeman has to go in at center. You have to move Magoo again back out to tackle, playing significant snaps. And, of course, with Colvin out, Jay Bonner comes in and plays running back. What did you think of how that offense performed second half without some of those key guys? You're talking about guys like Mason, that's a key player, Mitch, and without Tremel.
Well, I thought they did great. I thought Dylan came in and played outstanding. He led us to 2 touchdown drives in the second half. And I just thought he played a heck of a game. Very proud of him, and just a little glimpse of the future right there. He's a good player, and he was really settled in. He didn't panic, and Jay Bonner we know is a great athlete, and he comes in and runs the ball really hard, and you got Magoo who can play anywhere on the offensive line, but you do when you lose Mitch, you lose 2 starters now because you have to move Goo from where he was. But I mean, I don't know how many yards we had in the second half, but I mean, it was a significant number. It was more than they had, But we just played our butts off, man, and just proud of those young kids.
Well, Coach, absolutely, it was good to see that. And even at the end of the game, you have some chances with your offense. You got on the ball. Defense gets on the ball back twice, and just not unable to capitalize there at the end. But definitely had opportunities with that. But let's talk about your defense a little bit in that second half, because you only give up the 1 score, 1 long drive, I think, is what Union had. And so what did you see from your defense? And overall, how much growth happened during this game?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the only long drive we gave up was really, to me, the answer drive when we came out of halftime and we scored, and then they drove the ball 90 yards or so. And, they put the ball on the ground twice, and we don't get either one of them. And, just score on only a play that seems like can happen against us. But I thought we battled really well, and we came in and we shut them down pretty much after that. But our kids have been playing against them. They know what to expect, and we missed some tackles early in the game that kind of gave up the first touchdown. But after that, we settled in. I thought we played really well.
Well, Coach, you mentioned the needing to clean up the turnovers, the penalties, those things. How do you address that with your team this week going into a game with North Webster?
Well, I mean, the penalties is just mental. The mental penalties, moving before the ball snapped, it's just, to me, it's just unexcusable, and especially in week 7, we just can't do that. That's got to be gone. We had 2 holding penalties on that drive as well. I know everybody thinks we need to drop back and throw it, but if you get called for holding on a screenplay, you can't pass block very well. We just got to get all that cleaned up and just get better.
Well, Coach, it was a tough loss, but like you said, I think I even heard somebody tell you after the ball game that they could see how your team grew even in a loss, and maybe more positive could come from a loss than even maybe a win earlier in the year against other teams. So with that tough loss, what did you learn about your team as a whole this week?
Well, I think all we got to do is finish this season, get us some victories here at the end and get in the playoffs. And I still believe when those brackets come out, people are going to look down and see us, and they're going to be miserable because they got to play us. And I truly believe that. And, with the divisions now changed a little bit, I just feel like, if Union Parish is the number 1 team in 3A, I think we got a daggum chance.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Coach, tough loss, but dang, your boys fought hard, and so it was good to see that. Good to see some things starting to come together. But, Coach, let's talk about your Players of the Week brought to us by First Security Title of Monroe.
Yeah, we had 3 that we're going to name this week. I thought our interior defensive line played really well. We had a timeout, and these 3 guys were over there, and it looked like they had been rolling around in a hay yard or something. I mean, they had grass from head to toe, and it looked like 3 really good football players getting out there and getting after it. So we named all 3 of these guys Players of the Week this week, and we got Caleb Evans, Aaliyah Logo, and Jackson Moore, our 3 interior defensive linemen that played really well this week. Come on up, man.
Who's going to get in the middle? There we go, Caleb.
But they did, and they played really well. They played tough. I mean, these guys are very coachable. They do what we ask them to do, and they gave us a chance to win the ball game the other night with their play. We got a sophomore and 2 juniors right here, so makes it even better that hopefully we'll have all 3 of them back next year. Coach Carter's done a great job with our defensive line. I mean, that's sometimes you find the right seat on the bus, and he has found it and has done a great job. And these guys not the only ones. We got a group of these guys that play really hard and use great technique. And Coach Carter deserves all the credit for that, and these guys deserve the credit for getting after it. So we appreciate it, young men. Thank you so much. These are our Players of the Week.
Congratulations, guys. Well, Panther fans, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with more of the Coach Lee Doty Show in just a moment.
I spend my nights under the stage lights, but after the applause, I'm back in my truck from my hometown dealer, Benoit Motors. The country roads of Louisiana are my soul, and Benoit Motors gets who I am and who we are. They are proud to be a dealership for the everyday American. Join me and become a member of their family. Benoit Motors. They're with you for all your life's big moments and all the miles in between.
Well, Panther fans, we're back here with the Coach Lee Doty Show, brought to you by Benoit Ford of Farmerville. As we begin the second half of our show, we do want to take some time, and Coach, tonight want to recognize our McDonald's Senior Spotlight. Miss Jennifer Thomas is here from McDonald's. Again, appreciate all of her support and the things she does for our team.
Absolutely.
But who are our seniors that will also serve as team captains Friday night, Coach?
Well, we got Miguel Brooks is one of our seniors. Miguel, come on up, and Tyson Warren is our other. Come on up, Tyson. Number 73 and number 74, right here. Miguel is a third-year player for us, and Tyson's been with us for 4 years. Miguel, I give my hat, take my hat off to him, man. He's turned into a heck of a team player this year, and does what we need him to do. I'm very proud of him. Tyson has always been a team player, does what we need him to do. These guys, they represent us well. They're good in the school. You don't ever see these guys in any trouble. So, but these guys, I'm very proud of them, and these are our senior spotlight players, and they'll also be captains for us versus North Webster. Let's give them a big hand.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Coach, before we talk about this week's road game at North Webster, I know last night you played your last JV game.
All right.
And finished the season undefeated, I believe, 31-0 last night. Is that right?
23-0.
23-0. I couldn't read the scoreboard. It was a little blurry when I looked at it. Saw a field goal kicked. I thought it was 31. But another defensive shutout for your JV. But just talk about those guys and who stood out for you in that undefeated season on JV.
Well, I mean, we have so many kids that play JV. We traveled with almost 70 kids at the beginning of the year, playing JV, and we whittled it down some to, I believe we were traveling about 55 or 60, and we just had a good group. I mean, we had a big group of ninth graders this year, and I'm gonna say this: we started off with 23 freshmen, I believe, and we ended up with 23 freshmen. We did not have one freshman that quit this year, and I think that's an amazing stat, and very proud of those guys. Gavin Evans is a guy that's really emerging as a heck of a fullback for us, and he's had some really good games. He's a sophomore, and he's going to compete for the starting job next year. He plays on a lot of special teams for us. He had a great game. Connor Justice picked off the first pass of the game last night, returned it for a touchdown. We thought Hagan Herring played really good last night. Played him on defense for the first time this year. Looked really good. So, we just had some really good some guys that played really well. Sam Frazier started off as a guy that was on the end of the depth chart, and now he'll be starting for us Friday night. Because of his play in JV, just kind of moved up. David Hickman is another guy, had an interception last night, and, we're really proud of. And but it's just a lot of them, man, and, just happy for them. We had some of them that went to other sports today, and we released them guys and cut it back down to our varsity roster. So, but, man, we're proud of those guys and, look forward to the future with them for sure.
Absolutely. Congratulations to those guys on a great season. And, Coach, this week we will on Friday head down over to Spring Hill, Louisiana to take on North Webster. We made this trip a couple of years ago in a non-district matchup with North Webster, but now they are, of course, a part of our new district. Folks may not realize this. I've seen some folks commenting on District 2 3A, but that's not us anymore. No. We're now District 1 3A. And so with North Webster and Bastrop coming over, Coach, really probably most of our fans not real familiar with North Webster other than maybe seeing some highlights from district games that have been played against some of the other folks in the district. What can you tell us about the Knights and what have you seen on film?
Well, they're a team with a lot of speed, as usual. Those guys always have great track programs, so they have guys who can run. They're young in some spots this year, and they only graduate, I think, 8 guys this year, so they're a young football team, but they're still dangerous because anytime you can run like they can, it puts a lot of pressure on you. But I think it's their last home game of the year. It's going to be tough environment. They always have a good crowd. It's one of those places that no matter what the record is, they're going to support that school.
Yeah.
And, it's a tight-knit community up there. So we're looking forward to going, and we always have a nice place to dress up there. They take really good care of us, and it's 90 miles from our school, if anybody's wondering. It's 90 miles from our school to their school. So just a short trip up I-20 and then a long trip, when you go north right there. So, but yeah, we're excited about it, and like I said, we expect a good game from them. John Ware's the head coach up there. Like I said, he always does a good job, and one of the things I've been really impressed with them, even though the record ain't what they would like for it to be, is every time you turn the film on in a new game, they're playing hard. And that's just that's a compliment to John and his staff.
Yeah. Well, Coach, offensively, going to bring another spread back. Of course, we've gotten kind of used to that in the district play. But it looks like maybe a little more run-oriented. I know I watched some of the film against Union Parish in particular, and it's almost an I formation run out of the spread. What challenges do you see them presenting to our defense?
Well, we don't know which quarterback they're going to play. That's one of the things. Number 16 seems to be more of a passing threat, and number 9, who played last week, seems to be definitely more of a running threat. So, you have to prepare for 2 different quarterbacks, and that's always a challenge. But, the edge, getting on the edge, and just – they're not going to run the ball in A-gap, and, just got to be prepared for that. They're going to try to get to the edge and bounce that thing out and outrun you to the end zone. So we just have to be prepared for that.
Well, Coach, and I may have asked you this before, and if I have, forgive me, but when you talk about teams with a lot of speed, how do you try to mimic that and get your guys ready for that?
That's a good question. That allows me to talk really good about a guy, Michael Douglas. One of the reasons I think we've gotten better on defense is we started using Michael Douglas as our scout team running back. So, last week he was Trey Holly. This week he's number 9 or number 4 or whatever we need him to be. And we have to practice fast with Michael. He can really run. And so we have to practice really fast. He's made us better. And you have to be in the right spot because of that. And I think that'll help us out this week again. I think it helped us last week with Trey Holly, and I think it'll help us this week too.
Yeah, folks sometimes underestimate the importance of a great scout team player.
Absolutely. And
but
he's
in preparation,
doing a great job.
Awesome. Well, Coach, defensively, when you look at their defense, it seems like there's some guys that can run and kind of rally to the football. So what do you think the keys are for our offense this week against that defense?
Well, I think the key is not turning the ball over. And go out and do what we do and get some guys involved early that we hadn't been getting involved, and just no stupid penalties, man. Just hopefully got that's corrected, and we'll see some other guys offensively we hadn't seen, and start to get ready for this playoff run.
Well, Coach, after the physical battle last week, and of course, you play on Thursday. You get a couple extra days to kind of breathe and get some guys hopefully healed up. What do you see from some of those guys who were banged up? I know fans are wondering, hey, where are we? You mentioned Tremel was out for the second half. How are our guys, and how are they ready to roll this week?
Well, we have none of our guys are out for the year, which is very important. So that's the main thing. Whether they'll play this Friday or not, that remains to be seen, So we'll see. I know Tremel is ready to go, and I'll go ahead and tell you he's going to play. But we got other ones we're waiting to see on, and we got to protect them and got to protect ourselves too. So the other ones are kind of a game time decision.
Okay. Appreciate that update, Coach. Well, Coach, you said there's 3 weeks left in the season. You've got 3 ball games on your schedule. Besides wins, because I know that's been your number one answer when we asked you what else do you want to see different this week. what are you looking for the rest of the way from your team?
Well, steady improvement, but I tell you, if you go to the power ratings and you look at the people ahead of us, most of those guys are going to play each other. And some of them are playing, 2 games against people that are ahead of us. So we've put ourselves in a position, if we can go win out and do what we're supposed to be, we're going to set ourselves up for at least a couple of home playoff games, possible. So our strength factor is the second highest in 3A. Our strength of schedule is second highest in 3A. So, we've put ourselves in, not exactly how you draw it up, but we're still in good shape.
Yeah.
And we just got to go win these next 3 and continue to improve. And I believe if we do that, we're going to be a tough out.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, good luck this week and safe travels over. Any final thoughts for our folks?
Well, like I said, it's a good trip for us. We haven't had that trip this year, and I always like to make one before the playoffs. And it allows us to do the things, to dress somewhere else, to take our travel bags, and that gets you ready for the experience you're going to have, because we're going to be on the road in the playoffs at some point. So it is a great game for us. Lots of respect for those guys over there. And but I think our kids will be ready to play, and I think you'll see the rest of the year, I think our guys are going to get after it.
Well, folks, we're going to wrap it up here. I remind you, Sterlington at North Webster this Friday night, 7 o'clock there in Spring Hill. If you can't make it, you can catch us on YouTube beginning at 6:30 with a replay of the Coaches Show. And then a pregame show with myself and William Handy will begin at 6:50 with kickoff right at 7 o'clock. You can also head over to the website, shspantherfootball.com, for highlight videos, game replays, and more. And you can also find the live link, the Watch live stream link there on Friday night, where you can click it and it'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. Coach, final words before we wrap it up?
Hey, I hope everybody is careful. I know that we'll still have a good following come over and watch us play. And as always, go Panthers.
Well, folks, that's going to do it tonight for tonight's show. We'll see you on Friday night. If not, right back here next Tuesday night for the Coaches Show at Frenchman's Bend. Have a great night.
I spend my nights under the stage lights, but after the applause, I'm back in my truck from my hometown dealer, Benoit Motors. The country roads of Louisiana are my soul, and Benoit Motors gets who I am and who we are. They are proud to be a dealership for the everyday American. Join me and become a member of their family. Benoit Motors, they're with you for all your life's big moments and all the miles in between.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Empire Media and Management. Any unauthorized reproduction is strictly prohibited.